Hi, I'm Heather Sugg. We're here at Money20 USA, filming for FinTech Futures, and I've got Andrea with me from Atomic. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's nice to have you here. I know we have a lot to cover. We're going to be talking about embedded banking services and what we can do to pull more customer experiences and payment experiences inside the financial institution. Before we get into all that, Andrea, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about Atomic?
Sure. I'm Andrea Martone. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Atomic. Atomic was founded in 2019 with really a focus on payroll connectivity, coming to market with our direct deposit switching solution, which enables consumers who are updating their bank information to connect into their payroll in order to update their instructions on where their paycheck's going to go through direct deposit. Since then, we've really expanded our payroll connectivity in a few other ways, including into verification of income and employment. It's really focused on lending use cases to make it easier for people to qualify through loans through sharing information directly from their employment situation on how much they're paid, how often, their employment status as well. And most recently, and what we're here to talk about today, is the launch of our PayLink suite, which moves our connectivity and automation more in the direction of third-party bill providers as well.
A seamless user experience and having that open infrastructure to where they can move things easily and integrate them into the bank and choose where they want to do their banking and payment services. It's the talk of what we're doing here. It's the talk of Money 2020. This is the second year in a row CFPB has made a big announcement about how they want to make bigger and better open banking standards and all of this. Tell me let's talk through PayLink from a consumer perspective first. How exactly is it going to benefit the consumer?
Yeah, so to touch on that topic a little bit about open banking and Atomic in general, one thing that we always talk about is Atomic is a mission-driven company as well. We're really focused on how can we unlock new opportunities for consumers using connectivity and automation. And I think that's really where the CFPB's announcement and a lot of open banking is headed as well, is how can you promote competition? How can you make it easier for users to switch their financial institutions? When you're thinking about switching your financial institution, there's two big pieces to it. The first one that we've covered is really around direct deposit switching. How do I get my paycheck into my new account? The second one, though, is how do I then also as well get the money back out of that account? And that's going to all those different services that you pay and provide. And so when we think about how Atomic can play a role in this ecosystem in order to promote competition, easier switching, really helping consumers benefit from finding the financial relationship that works best for them. And we think about it as an evolution. What might be the best financial relationship for you when you're 23 and you have your first job out of college can look very different than when you're 45 and starting to think about how am I going to make sure that I'm ready for retirement. And so how can we help consumers throughout their lifetime, their financial lifetime, really switch those relationships and find the services that work best for them.
I like that because it is an evolution of things. What will it look like from the consumer's experience? My UX as a consumer, how is it going to play out as I want to switch?
So our experience is really embedded into their financial institution. We provide an SDK that can be embedded into any mobile banking, online banking application. So as a consumer, I'm going through the onboarding process, I'm completing that, I have a new account. Now I need to activate that new account. Part of that experience will include Atomic's SDK within that. They'll click on something that says, hey, I need to switch my payments over to my new account. Behind the scenes, we're capturing the ACH routing and account number as well as debit card information from their financial institution for that account that they just opened and are looking to activate. So we have that on hand. For the user, what they're going to do first is build a list of those services that they use. In some instances, we'll be able to partner with the financial institution to have them connect into their external account to help pre-build that for them. So to say like, hey, here's who you're paying today, because we know that's a major friction point when somebody's going to switch is, where is my money going today and how do I make sure that I don't miss one of those vendors that I'm paying. And so helping pre-build that list, and then I have to work through that as a consumer. So it is user permission. It's based on user credentials, and we could talk a little bit about how we do that after. But so I'm going to go through that list and I'm going to provide my username and password to Verizon. I'm going to log in on their site directly. Actually, Atomic's going to intercept that session, and then we're going to go ahead and update that card information on file for them so that they're never typing in that information within the vendor website. If they have auto pay on, it will just be enabled still. If they don't have auto pay on, the next time they go to log in to pay that bill, that new account information and card will be top of the list there.
So by integrating all of those experiences, you're also helping the consumer to manage their financial due dates and payments and everything else. And you have a financial health play from that sense of organization and stability. Is that correct?
That's where we're headed. So our first launch of this product is really focused on the card information. How do we make sure that we get that on file so they can begin using that new account? But where we're headed with it, I think you hit like spot on, right? Now we can start understanding payment dates and amounts. We already have the payroll connectivity, so we can already understand when's your paycheck coming, what amount does your paycheck usually look like, and starting to get a better understanding of their overall cash flow, and then thinking about how do we help them manage that and automate some of the services. So maybe I need to move a payment date, which is functionality I didn't even know existed in some of these services until recently. You can go in, my payment's due on Thursday, my paycheck's not coming till Friday, I can actually move my payment date till Monday. So thinking about financial wellness and how do we help ensure that consumers overall, not just in their financial relationships, but other places aren't incurring late fees, especially the most vulnerable, financially vulnerable members of our society. A $35 late fee because my paycheck came a day later than my due date is a big deal. And so if I can update that, or better yet, even my financial institution is just automatically doing that for me to ensure that I'm not getting hit with those late fees, I'm not overdrafting, I think is a game changer for a lot of people.
And then switching over to the benefits for the financial institution. Those banks and credit unions want to bring as much inside their walls as they can. They want to have these payment experiences within their apps. And talk to me about how that's going to help drive deposits and benefit the bank and credit union in the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk around the CFPB and open banking and what it means from a hey, we can get data out of financial institutions and to fintech players, but one thing in the ruling is it goes both directions. And so I think the smartest financial institutions, the one we're talking to, they really see this as a play as well to help them grow accounts. They see it as like an opportunity, not just a, hey, we have to open it up, but also like, hey, we have an opportunity to build better products, to build partnerships with companies like Atomic that can help us utilize this structure in order to help attract and retain new customers. And a big part of that is friction with switching that information. So if I can switch my direct deposit information, if I can switch these like things on file, they're building faster relationships. I think it's, within the first 30 to 90 days is like what really matters after a new account is opened. And so if you can get that, make it seamless for them to get their direct deposit on file and start paying some of their bills out of that account, then, that cost of acquisition that you just had to bring that user in, right, can come down a lot when you look at the larger picture of account activation overall.
So that's the use case and the clear advantage that I think everyone's going to see first for the new customer acquisition coming in, and how to make the most of that and how to get the most involved in that experience. Talk to me, I think there's more and more emphasis being placed on existing customers and how to make sure that you are tying those in and deepening those relationships, especially as it's more open for them to move around now. How does this help in that situation?
Yeah. When we think about existing customers and how this helps benefit, financial institutions like already customer base, a big focus is going to be on retention. As you said, as it's easier to move around, it's really promoting competition in a way that means our financial institutions have to step up their experiences. And so I would bring it back to some of those features that we're talking about from a roadmap perspective of once you're already in there and you're looking to manage your day-to-day or week-to-week or month-to-month cash flows. What are the upcoming payment dates? What are the upcoming payment amounts? Is a different look than retroactive. So traditionally, all of the account information that you're getting and the transaction information is going to take a look backwards and say, oh, you paid, this vendor on this date for this amount last month. We're going to guess that it's going to be around this time frame and around the same amount next month. But what we're unlocking is the ability to see the exact due date and the exact amounts. And so we think that it opens up the possibility as well to start paying. There's a lot of focus on earned wage access right now as an industry and how you can get paid daily to open up cash flows. But what if you could also pay in chunks throughout the month, because we know your utility bill came in on the 29th, it's not due till the following 30th, it's this amount. You're going to get paid twice in that time frame instead of waiting until the due date. Let's go ahead and split up and make 2 payments to that utility provider on the day that your paycheck comes in. And so it's going to open up features like that can help retain existing customers by giving them just these little tools that help them manage their financial wellness better.
Very nice. And now you told us a bit of the technical side about how you'll integrate into the existing partners that you have out there. Who are you working with now? What integrations do you already have ready?
We are launching this month with 30 different integrations, really focused on 3 different areas. We have your top of wallet providers, thinking your Amazon, your Walmart, your Target, the solutions where there aren't as many recurring month-to-month subscriptions. But I don't know about you, I'm at Target probably every other week. And so when I go to pay there, you want to have it be the top of wallet within that app, or when I'm ordering something on Amazon. We're also focused on the bills that are going to be recurring month to month, your cell phone, your cable and internet, your utilities. So that's sort of like the next round that we're going after. And then the third in those areas are going to be down the line more so like your loans and your mortgages and your other like large payments too. So we'll be launching with that. We're currently working with, we have a few pilot customers to bring this to market in Q4. In Q1, we work today with 4 of the 10 largest banks in the country. We'll be working with them to take a look at what it looks like to include this in the solution suite as well. And we've rolled out, we're excited to announce here actually some embedded partnerships with MX and Backbase and others who are going to really help us bring this product to market across the board.
Last question. You gave us a little bit of detail about how you're managing passwords and logins and credentials, but go more into the security angle and how are you ensuring that this is going to be enabled to be embedded in the banking experience safely?
Ensuring security of the end user's credentials is a big part of the strategic priorities at Atomic. And one of the ways that we do that is through our TrueAuth functionality. So instead of collecting the end user's credentials, our new PayLink product is all built off of the premise of taking the user out to the third party. They're going to enter their username and password right on their own device on that third-party site. It's also going to mean that they have access to biometrics, stored passwords, and secured ways on their device. Once they successfully authenticate within that experience, then we're listening for that session, taking it over. But it means that Atomic is never collecting their credentials. We're also going to always follow a principle of least privilege. I know that's a big thing in the industry when we start thinking about security and privacy and how do we protect consumers' data and their rights. We're never going to access data or information that isn't necessary to carry out the automation or the action that they've given us approval to do on their behalf.
Andrea, it was a pleasure. Thanks for filling us in on everything you have going on. We're excited about things to come, and I hope you have a great Money 2020.
You as well. It was great. Thank you for having me today.